Hi everyone! If you follow my website for some time and read my posts, you know I love making cold processed soap. Every soap maker needs to decide what to do with all the soap scraps. Since no soap maker likes to throw those soap scraps into the trash, we always think about what to do with them. In this video, I want to share with you how I use soap scraps to make this soap design. I collect the scraps a day or two after the soap has been made, so the scraps are still soft and manageable. I create soap balls using the scraps. I keep the scraps balls in a bag and keep collecting them. Once I have a decent amount of soap balls, I make a new soap and use the soap balls to create the design. No matter the size or shape of the soap scraps, as long as they are still soft, you can shape them into soap balls and keep them for later use. As you can see, I use soap scraps from different soaps I make, which results of different colors and sizes of soap balls. I usually use clays or other botanicals to color my soaps, so most of my soap scraps will have these colors from the clays or the botanicals. I collect all the scraps and stick them together, then tighten them as hard as possible to avoid any spaces between them. You can make smaller balls or larger ones. They should fit into a soap mold that you would use later on, so think about the sizes you create. In a previous post, I shared a formula for making sugar scrubs using soap scraps. I'll leave the link to that post in the description. You must protect your eyes and skin when making soap and using lye. So, I use a small, skinny mold, and usually I calculate a recipe of 1200 grams of oils for that mold. But since I'm using 600 grams of soap balls, I only use 500 grams of soap batter. I use 142 grams of distilled water. Then I add 70 grams of lye. The recipe with all the measurements is in the written post. There's a link in the description. After stirring the lye with the water, I leave it to cool down. I do go back and stir the lye solution now and then. For the hard oils and butters, I have 50 grams of cocoa butter and 170 grams of coconut oil. In this recipe, I use 7% superfat. I place the pot on low heat to melt the coconut oil and butter. Now I weigh my liquid oils. Starting with the olive oil, I use 150 grams of olive oil. Then I use 100 grams of sunflower oil and 30 grams of castor oil. Meanwhile, my coconut oil and cocoa butter are melted and I add them to the liquid oils. It's time to combine the lye solution with the oils. I check the temperature of the oils and the lye solution. They are in the same temperature range. I pour the lye solution into the oils and use an immersion blender to reach a light trace. Since I wanted to make several layers of the soap batter, I poured some of the batter into a different container. I prepared 2 containers but ended up using just one, so I had one less container to clean later. I used more pulses to reach a medium trace and added the essential oils blend. Now I poured the first layer of the soap batter. Tap the mold to release air bubbles. Now that I had the first layer of the batter on the bottom of the mold, I placed the soap balls randomly, trying to put as many as possible to cover as much space as possible. I prepared the second layer of the soap batter. Again, adding the essential oils blend and stirring to combine before pouring the second layer. Pouring the second layer, trying to pour in between the soap balls, and finished with some tapping to release air bubbles. On the second layer, I placed more soap balls. As you can see, I tried to squeeze in as many as possible. I prepared the third layer of the soap batter. The recipe I used is linked in the description, although you can make this design with your regular soap recipe. I did the third layer in 2 steps to get as much batter between the soap balls, so that I wouldn't have air pockets in the final soap. With the third and final layer, I covered the soap balls. I covered the mold and left the soap for 24 hours. The next day, it's time to cut the soap into bars and check the design. I am very happy with the result. I collected the new scraps and will definitely use them in a future soap. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it gave you an idea of using soap scraps.